A couple days ago, Jujutsu Kaisen released its final episode for Season 3 Part 1, and yeah, you read that title. It was a disappointment. I don't think this season was terrible by any means, but by far the weakest season in the anime. I know a lot of people are gassing this season up because of the culling games and the whole idea about freeing Gojo, but if this is going to be genuine, I'm gonna be honest, it's just okay. This season was pretty different to other seasons as well because Mappa decided to use a different style for the season, and it was overall not received well by others, at least according to Twitter and some other social media apps. So I'm assuming they're gonna go back to the old styles in season 1 or 2. But I will say, although it has got a lot of complaints, I actually like the new animation. I don't think it was an improvement or anything crazy, but I did think it was still great. Because you look at shows like Invincible and you're wondering how the hell did we end up here. I think part of the reason as well why the animation does look like how it does is to possibly capture the depression of the culling games, which maybe actually does kind of make sense, but I'm really not sure. But besides the animation, my biggest issue with this season is that it's kind of boring. Yes, you do have fights that are cool like the final episode or the Maki vs Zenin clan episode, but for the most part, the others, they're just okay. I will say though that the shots and camera work are very good this season, and it probably is the best in terms of that. The areas where they do unique styles and shift from cinematic mode to regular works very well, and some moments where the cinematography moves from one area to another flows very well too. But besides that, I find some fights just to be kind of boring. The only ones I really enjoyed being Higuruma versus Yuji, Yuta versus the villains, I forgot their name because they're so forgettable, Naoya versus Choso and Yuji, the Maki Zenin clan as well, and that really just being it. Part of the reason the fights are quite boring too is also because the villains this season just suck. Most of them are very boring and just dull besides the ones I just listed, since they're just like random villains that we barely know about their story and they're just defeated within 1 or 2 episodes by the main characters, which makes it boring. I am aware we see some of those villains again, but in general, most of them were just meh, which makes the fights also have a dull impact too, which makes them feel very soulless. To give it some praise though, I do like the main characters' arcs this season and what they do go through, like with Yuji's growth and Maki destroying the clan, which changed the character. I did enjoy. I also liked some of the references they did regardless if they didn't have much engagement to the story, like the Fight Club episode and the Naruto and Sasuke fits that Yuji and Megami wore, which I thought was nice because the creator is a massive fan of them. But in general, this season was just a whole lot of nothing. I didn't get engaged by much stuff, and a lot of it felt quite boring to just hype up part 2 of season 3, which is coming out either late this year or next year. With that being said, I don't really have much else to say. Like, it's fine, I guess. I mean, if you love fights and you don't really care much about the story and like the villains and how well written they are, then go ahead. Jujutsu Kaisen season 3 is fine. It's cool. It's good for you, I guess, if like that's what people enjoy, which there's obviously nothing like against that, but in general it's just like I didn't really enjoy it much. There was not really anything crazy to this. The fights felt quite boring, most of them of course, besides like the villains that I listed, which actually made the fights engaging, some of them. And what's weird is I thought the season had a very strong start as well. Like they throwed us straight into some of the panels that were really famous, and the Naoya versus Choso and Yuji fight, which was very good. And then you go to episode 3 and it's like instantly you're just learning about a bunch of stuff, just like having to write down information about these culling games, which could have been handled better in my opinion, because that's just a full-on waste of an episode if you ask me. And I understand the whole point is to build up the next season, because next season is where it's going to start getting bang on crazy, but I just don't see what was specifically so hype about this season in general, to be honest. And I don't even think a lot of people really loved it all that much too. I do think it was like overhated in terms of the animation. I didn't think the animation was that bad, but in terms of the season itself, it's just pretty weak. And compare it to like season 1, which season 1 started off pretty good, but then you get to season 2 and ultimately like season 2 is genuinely such a good season because there's deaths, there's character development, the villains are great, the fight scenes are insane. You see Sukuna, and we didn't even see really Sukuna this season, and I know he was in like 1 or 2 shots in the final episode, but like we didn't even see him all that much this season. I don't even think he was in this season at all really, besides those 2 shots. It kind of sucks too because Sukuna is actually a very interesting character, honestly more interesting than Yuji, which I still like Yuji. I still think Yuji's a good character, but not seeing his demon side kind of just really took a toll on this season as well, because he's a very interesting character and a lot of people love him as well, including me. And that's what made season 2 very good as well. It was like the conflict it had, the suffering, and it was just great. The character deaths, like I know I am kind of repeating myself, but I'm just saying like season 2 was so impactful for the show, and so far, in my opinion, it's the best arc the anime has had to offer. I haven't read the manga. I am aware about the ending of the manga, which I'm not going to say what I think about it until it gets animated, but I will say I'm not a big fan of it, like the others. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give Jujutsu Kaisen Part 1 Season 3 of the Culling Games a 6 out of 10. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.